Man, it feels good to be back on the bike. It's been a long time, guys. At least the last time I was at the track was the last time I rode this thing. And if you don't know, well, the whole point of this video is to review the steering damper we put on here. So far, I've got it just a little bit firmer than the center position of it, which it seems to me like there's about 21 clicks on it that you could adjust. So I'm just a little bit, I believe I'm around like 7-ish or so out, so it's more firm. And you can tell as you're winding it out how kind of like it doesn't do anything, and then you can start feeling it getting a little more pressure. And if you go all the way, then it's like you're like forcing the steering wheel, which I think is pretty cool that we have that much adjustability. Obviously the point here would be to stabilize the front end when we lift the motorcycle wheel off the ground, whether it's wheelies or coming over like a speed bump or something, and needing to not want to feel that slamming. Hopefully keep you from getting into a death wobble and not dying on the motorcycle. So I personally think they are a good idea for all motorcycles. I don't think it matters whether or not you're not racing. If you're just on the streets, there is no reason not to have one, in my opinion. But if you did notice, like, the installation process, it really isn't that easy to do, obviously. Now you could buy like the one that goes up top here for, I think, GPR or whatever. I really didn't want that. I wanted my cockpit as clean as possible. Like, I do have the phone mount on here right now, and the only reason why I'm doing that is to really get track times so that I could actually watch them. There we go. I lifted that front end just a little bit sideways, and that's what's kind of like what really got me more than anything on the track was when you're, you know, at a little bit of a lean and you get a little too much throttle. You know, the R7's got nothing but torque in it, so that front end, at least the suspension, you'll easily relieve it and slightly hover that front tire. And it doesn't take much for you to slightly turn the wheel once you've done that. And then, of course, once your bike comes back down to the ground, it wants to shimmy around and kind of settle. And that's what kind of gets me nervous when I'm hauling ass on the track and I get one of those bumps and I'm sideways. And this is going to save us on that, which is freaking awesome. I'm super happy to have it on here. Some of the things that I was kind of worried about with where it gets mounted is how do you adjust the damn thing, and honestly it's really not that difficult. I couldn't do it really while driving. I mean, technically I can do it while driving. That's, you know, obviously not safe, but you could potentially wrench on it a little bit if you were driving to try and adjust it, but realistically, hopefully you're dialing it in properly for whatever you're riding, wherever you're riding, how aggressive you're riding. Oh man, this thing is so much fun. I totally missed this. And now that I've gotten kind of the foot pegs in a much better position, I'm really noticing the more I'm able to not use my arms and upper body as much as I used to. And that's really the foot position of the pegs. I've got them a little bit farther forward than I had them. I think I even dropped them down one setting. So they just feel so much easier for me to use my body on the bike than any upper body, or obviously minimal upper body. But just rambling. It's been so long since I've been on the bike. I'm just happy to be on it, guys. And it's been so dang cold. I don't know about you guys. I do live in California. I'm very lucky to have some riding weather year-round, which is cool. But it's been 20s, and I ain't riding in the 20s. Hell, I don't even want to ride in the 40s anymore. I'm starting to become a total wuss. We do got to get to some negatives on this thing. So I'm going to say the first negative is, if you're looking at this bracket that we installed here, it goes on your stock steering stop. That's kind of what it like connects to, which is, you know, fine and whatever, fine and dandy. But these two little pieces on the side here, they're maybe a 1/4 inch-ish, maybe a little bit more than that on both sides, and those are going over that steering stop, which is adding, well, technically reducing that amount of steering in the bike. So like, you will notice it the second you get on the bike and just try and move the bike around, try and flip it around in your garage, trying to back it out of a parking lot. Like, that lock to lock is nothing now, and it is very, very noticeable. Now, obviously not while you're riding, because you're not lock to locking while driving. You know, maybe very slow in a parking lot trying to get your bike out or something, and you'll notice you've lost a lot of steering angle. So that would be like the biggest negative of it. If you are constantly like manipulating your bike somewhere, you are gonna have a hard time with some of that. Something that I think is worth paying attention to if you're wanting to buy one of these and you're looking into them, Sport Bike Track Gear, freaking awesome dude. His son is an amazing racer out there in Moto America. He actually did a video installing this steering damper on his R7 race bike. So different brakes, I already felt it there. It hovered on me a little bit, and yeah, I like it. I'm glad we have it on here. But either way, back to what I was talking about was he installed one on his race bike, and it obviously is missing tons of components because it's ready to race. You know, you would not believe how much stuff you take off this motorcycle when you turn it into a race bike. As after this ride, I will start doing that. But for him to like center it right and fit right, he had to put like spacers on it. And I was thinking when I watched his video, well, maybe I'll do the same thing and I'll run into the same problem. Turns out it was the complete opposite. Those spacers made it not fit on this stock motorcycle at all. And I had to immediately remove them and take all that out of the video because I assumed that that was the right decision, and it was not. It just wasted me a bunch of time. In fact, the steering damper wouldn't work right at all and was hitting the brake lines and all kinds of crap. Where if you don't do that, and you did it as I did in the installation video, it fits perfectly fine with your horn and your steering damper and that little plastic thing on the bottom. I thought that was interesting too, because you know, remove that, because like I said, it's a race bike. You don't need any of this crap. Yes, you gotta have it. If you want to keep your horn, you need to have all those things. You need to reinstall them back on the bike. You can see I still have that. You can see I have it all back on there. Without that black plastic, it actually moves the horn bracket up too high, and then it does hit the steering damper. So the way Graves designed their bracket, it does work for the stock motorcycle, as we showed in the video, obviously. But just something for you to note. If you're watching my video and you're watching his video, you have a stock R7 and you want that steering damper on your R7, and trust me, I say get the dang thing. I think it is worth the money to have it on here. Just the extra safety is worth it, in my opinion. But if you do that, just keep that in mind. Do not add those spacers in there. Just install as intended, and it will fit in there just fine. Now, it isn't an easy installation, as you guys have probably watched the video and thought, whoo, wow, we're dropping a fork, we're taking off clip-ons, we're disassembling the bottom portion of the motorcycle, like, this sucks. But it really wasn't that hard. So just follow the video, hit me up if you have any questions or you're struggling through it. I'll do my best to help you out. If you hit me up on Instagram, I do my best to keep up with all the comments as quickly as I can. It isn't always that easy, but if you hit me up, send me a dang picture on Instagram, and I will do my best to kind of help you through whatever problem you're going through. So here, I'll show you guys the steering loss here at the stoplight or stop sign here. Damn it, and there's a car on my play road. Okay, so that's locked now. That's lock to lock. So if I wanted to like turn, I mean, there's still plenty of turning in there, but just fair warning, it'll be an obvious, oh crap, the bike doesn't steer anymore. It does, it's just much less.